Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Ozark Season 4, Episode 1 breakdown. And today I will be breaking down Episode 1 as well as playing Rainbow Six Extraction. And I thought that this would be an interesting thing to do just because, I think it's kind of unique, and I think that it might be something that might be entertaining to people while I break down the episode. I thank everyone for joining. Thank you so much. Please hit that like, subscribe. Any any comments you may have below. Any if you have any suggestions for me, I'm willing to if it's positive feedback. I mean, if it's like it's trash and that's all there is to it, then I mean, I guess that's your opinion or whatever. That's cool. But I mean, if it can be something constructive, like hey, you can do this better, or like it would be more entertaining if you did this, or something like that. Like, I'm open to that kind of stuff. If you want to leave any comments, please leave a comment below. If you like the show, leave a comment below. If you don't like the show, leave a comment below. If you don't like the direction that the show is headed, leave a comment below. If you don't like if I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's a lot to not like about this show. The show's great. So without further ado, we'll get into it. The the first opening scene. The first opening scene, the Bird family is taking a trip. It looks like they finally, from the looks of it, looks like they finally reached the point that they want to reach, where they can finally step away from the money laundering game and proceed with their life as they once were. Um, and because as they're traveling, there's a conversation taking place about how far they are away from their destination, and they're look back in, which might be some foreshadowing or something too, though, because it's like we're only 48 hours away from, they don't quite say where, but it always seems like they're always so close to where they're trying to go. So that feels like it could be like a metaphor for something, or not foreshadowing, but a metaphor for something. But yeah, I, as they're going, you can kind of see a rift between Wendy and Jonah, because keeps looking back at him, and like she's trying to it almost just seems like she's trying to connect with him, or she's trying to get some kind of how do I put it, she's just trying to be cool with them. When you're upset, but they're still trying to be cool or something like that. Well, some parents are like that. Some parents would be like, "Hey, I'm a parent, and you don't have to what's going on, but this is what's going on." A lot of parents are kind of like that, but it seems like she's kind of trying to be cool to some degree, with him, and he's not going for it. So, that, oh, let me select this right quick, because I have to get an operator from the Tenderloin. We'll go ahead and do a Tenderloin while I continue with down. But then, as they're going down the road, then this 18-wheeler ends up swerving into their lane, cause you know how on traffic two lane traffic highways, where there's one lane going one way and the one lane's going the other way, but to pass traffic, you kind of hop in that other lane, the opposite lane, and then you kind of get back over into your lane when you want to pass other cars. It looked like that's what the 18-wheeler was doing. It looked like it hopped into the oncoming traffic lane to car, but then just misjudged how much time it actually had before it had to get back over into the other lane. That's what looked like happened. And so then it almost looks like they're getting into a head-on collision. They swerve, kind of get out the way, and in the process of swerving, they end up the car ends up flipping, tipping over, and they get in a car accident. So it's like, dang, so close but yet so far for the Bird family, just like the story of their life kind of thing. And so it's like a flashback, and it goes back to immediately after Helen gets shot, and Marty and Wendy are standing in front of a mirror and cleaning themselves off, and then it's like, oh, okay, so that beginning scene is just what all of this whole season is going to be leading up to, is that scene. So in our minds, we're going to see that, okay, they get to this particular point. So what happens to where they finally are able to get to that particular point. So that's what I gathered from like that first like 5 minutes. And so then they're washing their self off. Let me see. Let me pick my operator right quick. Let me see. Then we'll get back into the breakdown. But I just want to pick an operator right quick. I need to start using other operators because I have someone and stuff, and then some of them are at like 4 or 5, and Lions at 6. That's the one I like to use though. I like to use Lion because that's just who I like to use most of the time. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe I can use Fink. I don't like to use ones that. I think I'll just use Alibi.
Holograms deceive the simple-minded.
No, I don't want to use Alibi either. I want to use something with a silencer on it.
Ready to knock 'em down a peg.
Let's see here.
If you're not sure about anything, well, I'm looking for answers too.
From joining the police.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna use Rook.
That is
it's cool. And we'll put a suppressor on there, and then we will grab. Oh, we already got a stun grenade with it. All right, cool. All right, so okay, so we're at Marty and Wendy in the mirror cleaning themselves off. So they get to clean themselves off. Wendy asks Marty if he can get some of like the bone and brain fragment out of her hair, because she has like pieces of her hair because they shot her like standing right next to her. Excuse me. So then they're doing that, and as they're doing that, somebody puts 2 pairs of clothes on the bed for them to join the party that they're having. I want to say downstairs, because that just always just makes sense that it was like downstairs or something like that. But it was somewhere like that though. Like there's a party somewhere around, like in the backyard or downstairs or whatever it might have been. So then they clean themselves up and join the party that's downstairs. From there, while they're in the party, because I guess they went to Mexico in season 3, and so like while they're off joining the party, they join the party, and then Omar Navarro goes and introduces them to his nephew Javi, and they say he tells him that he's in business school, in Chicago, and that, and I'm guessing that this is the guy that's gonna end up taking Helen's place. And so from there, he starts asking about Darlene and what they're gonna do about Darlene, and Marty has a confused look on his face because he's not quite sure what he means by that. He's like, okay, what is it? What is that supposed to mean? Like, do I'd imagine he wants him to get her out the way because she's a liability to them or something like that. So she's just kind of like, get her out the way. However the means of that, I don't know, but it kind of seemed like he wanted her out the way. But Marty was kind of confused with what he had meant by it. And so they kind of have a conversation about that. And then after that, they go on a walk with Omar Navarro, and he tells him that, like, hey, you guys launder money for me. I want you guys to launder me. It pretty much is like the gist of the conversation. Hey, I want to be able to come and go from U.S. Please, I want to be able to do things, step away from the business, and just live my life normally. What was that? What? Oh. Whoa. What do we have going on here? Jeez. What's going on here? Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is going on? Yeah. But yeah, so he's telling Marty and Wendy that he wants to like get out of the game and live his life normally. And so Wendy's like very doubtful of the scenario. Marty's not really saying much of anything. But Wendy's very doubtful of this situation. But they agree to do it anyways. And then next thing you know, we go into a scene with at the hotel where it all began, like her party began. You know, when she stole some of the money from him. And so she's there, and the lady is like kind of like looking down on her and like ready, like she was and I think she had previously fired her, and so then up pulls up the guy that owns the place, and he's taking a meeting with Ruth. And so then Ruth goes in there and offers to buy the place from the guy for like $450,000 or something like that. She offers to buy the place from the guy. And the guy, and then the guy eventually sells to her. And when he gets done, when they get done with that meeting, she goes right outside and fires the lady that, and which is dope. Like I think I mean, that's always something cool for some, like, to go back to the place you worked and like buy the place, or like fire the boss that was like a dick to you or something like that. Like. I feel like that's just always something. That's always like a goal of people's, like to like one day go back and buy the place that you. So like that's really cool. But yeah, from there and so that we end up seeing. I believe that's when Ruth goes and has a meeting with Darlene at Darlene's place, and they go in. Hold on, let me see here. What are we doing? What we're doing. Jesus. Alright, hold on. Let me get through this part right quick and we can get back to... I hate to be trying to like explain this and then be doing this at the same time, and it's like... Where's the fifth one at? There we go.
The parasite ecosystem should be less of a mystery with that sample.
All right. So from there we got Ruth going over to Darlene's to have a meeting with her to tell her I just bought the hotel Lazy O, I'm sorry. And I just bought the Lazy O, and I'm going to go there and I'm going to launder money out of there. And so she pretty much just tells her plan of laundering her money out of there, and then talks percentages with her and all of that stuff. And Darlene says that she's going to split her percentage with Wyatt. So from there, then it shows Ruth. From there, we see Ruth having trouble trying to basically what she's trying to do is get a program in order to launder money. She knows how to do the program. She just doesn't know how to upload the program or whatever it is, or like start the program. But she knows how to run the program.
We're done in this subzone.
So
We should move to the next
so
one.
what she's trying to do is
You're adapting well to the circumstances. Keep
so
that
what she's trying to
momentum.
do is like take the program from Marty or like find some way to use that exact same program. So she tries to do it at the house, which then she can't at her house, but she can't do it. So then she tries to go to the casino and do it, but she can't do it there either. And then Charlotte ends up seeing her and kicking her out of the, because she tries to say like, hey, yeah, while Marty and Wendy were in Mexico, they said I could do this, and then they said I can run the show while they're gone. But Charlotte's like, no, that's not true. I talked to them before they left, and that's not true. And then so then she ends up checking Ruth and having her removed from the casino. Oh yeah, a part that I missed before that is Jonah going over to get Ruth Ben's ashes.
Our MIA operator is our top priority.
So like that's just showing us a little bit that Ruth still has, or not Ruth, but Jonah still has a little animosity about what happened to Ben. You know, he's still carrying a little animosity, but he went and brought Ruth Ben. And so yeah, so as you can see, like Ruth isn't working for Marty anymore. She's working for Darlene. That kind of happened in season 3, the end of season 3, that kind of took place. But okay, from there, hold on, let me see. From there, let me make sure I'm on the right track. Because I believe from there, Marty and let me see. From there, I think Marty and Wendy get back into town. Let me see. Yeah, let me see. Jonah is upset, and Wendy killed Ben. Then oh yeah, and then there's a private investigator that's wandering around trying to find out what happened to Helen. He's saying that there's I have a feeling that he's not even a private investigator, but he said he's a private investigator looking for Helen because Helen is having a divorce and her husband wants the papers signed. You know, so then he's going around looking for Helen. Excuse me. Hold on, let me look this way. Let me just make sure everything's cool right there. Make sure everything's cool right there. Alright, yeah, so the private investigator is looking for Helen, and he has a talk with Wendy. They say they haven't seen her, you know, and then that's pretty much it. Then it changes over to a scene where Wyatt's in the bed with Darlene, and they're discussing the cut that they were discussing earlier, because Darlene told Ruth, like, hey, the 75% that I'm getting, I'm splitting it with Wyatt, like that. And Wyatt's telling her, like, man, that was nice of you. And she's telling him what's mine is yours, you know. So they're kind of having a relationship and stuff. Yeah, they're kind of in a relationship and involved with each other a little bit. And so why she agreed to give him half of her 75%, because Ruth is going to get 25%, then Darlene was going to get 75%, but she was just going to share her 75% with she's going to share her cut with Wyatt. Hold on, let me check past this part right quick, because I'm trying to like do this at the same time that I'm trying to like record the gameplay and me playing this at the same time that I'm talking to you guys, doing an episode breakdown. So I just don't want it to be like, I don't want it to be messed up though. Like I want it to, or for like me to like seem too preoccupied while I'm while I'm doing this though. Like I want to be able to pull this off and like play and doing this at the same time, because I feel like it's a cool idea. So like hopefully I can do it and like focus on this as talking to you guys. Because I just think that would make for a cool for like cool content, like for like a cool episode breakdown, like to be like gaming and doing that. It's like two cool things to incorporate in it. Stay still, stay still. Uh-oh. Oh man, that was some terrible shooting right there. Oh, okay, it's coming out of there. Okay. There's a lot of these bloaters popping up, or breachers popping up over here. All right, hold on. Give me a second before we get back into it, because we left off at Darlene and Wyatt laid up together. So let me finish this part and extract them, and then we can get right back to the episode breakdown. So that we got that 1, 2. Is it just those 2? Alright, I should be able to do that fairly easy.
Don't let the Arc cells reach the Arc tree. The parasite is retaliating. Get our casualty out of there.
Okay, so Wyatt and Darlene are in the bed. They're discussing the percentages and stuff like that, and so we got kind of get a gist of where they're at in their relationship. And so from there, Wendy and Marty are having a conversation, and they're kind of just like, and Wendy's sitting there telling Marty like I'm not gonna lose. Like this is gonna work. Whatever we're trying to do, it's gonna work. I'm not gonna lose.
Bring them to the extraction pod.
You know, that's what she's telling Marty. Like however, like she doesn't intend on losing. Like she's in it to win. You know, like she's in it for real, not for thrills. You know, like that's how she's seeming, like she's on it. So like that's so that's the conversation she's having with them, and I think this is that's like right before they end up having a meeting with Darlene, and they had a meeting with Darlene to like tell her like, hey, you need the cartel wants you to stop selling heroin or else. And then Darlene's kind of like, or else what? And then they not seeing eye to eye on that. And before they leave, Marty asks before they leave, Marty ends up asking Ruth if she can like talk some sense into Darlene, and Darlene's kind of just like, hey, you know, there ain't really no talking no sense into her. She didn't say this, but that's pretty much like how she was looking at it, like, hey, there ain't no talking no sense into her. She finna do what she wanna do. And so that's how that conversation goes. Which is like, oh. Trying to let some of that clear up.
You can head to the next subzone. Nothing left of interest here.
That was terrible. These bloaters are something else, man.
Your approach so far is working. Keep at it.
Let me see here. Grab that. So then after the meeting and they tell
We're running that experiment in several airlocks.
and
You should
they
tell
tell
us how the
Darlene to stop
parasite
selling the
affects
heroin, and
transit
she kind of declines. Um, where they're having dinner at the house, and they're talking to the kids, you know, about, hey, you know, Navarro wants us to do this for him, and if we do this for him, we can finally just step away from what we're doing. The kid, Jonah, kind of doesn't believe it, but Charlotte's on board with it, you know, and Charlotte's doing a lot of stuff to like take the mantle, you know, and to continue stuff. Like she's doing a lot of stuff to help, and Jonah's just like raising a lot of questions and just like kind of going against whatever they're trying to do.
Airlock sequence. Sub-zone
You know, I wouldn't necessarily say going against, but like he's not helping. Like he's not helping anything. Like it seems like at every turn he's kind of like going again. He's like kind of going against progress a little bit. But
and we need them gone.
then
It's a 2-for-1 kind of deal.
the investigator comes and knocks on the door saying their doorbell don't work, interrupting dinner. You know, and Marty's. He's telling them it's sacred time, you know, and so the guy ends up finding a picture, or like, well, what he ends up doing is he ends up going to Helen's house and he sees this recording that she has recording equipment. So then he goes and looks for wherever she's recording it from, finds the recording of Jonah at the house with a shotgun threatening her. So then he takes a picture of that recording, brings it over to the house to show them, and then asks him about it. Jonah's trying to explain himself. Wendy's telling him shut up. Wendy's telling him to shut up. Hold on. Let me get past this part right quick. I just took a mean backhand right there. Make sure everything's cool over here. Bioluminescence.
Reload.
That's how we do. All right, and so hold on, where was I at? Oh yeah, okay. So then Marty's telling them, hey, these is family problems, you know, watch out. And then so then he pretty much was like, so then they pretty much closed the door on him, and then that's pretty much it. But Jonah was kind of saying too much, because he was just like, hey, he was like, I was just upset. He was pretty much saying, he was pretty much trying to say that he was upset about Helen having been committed. About her having been committed, and that she was alive when he last seen her. And so then dude's like, who said she was dead, you know? So he was kind of just like doing a little bit too much and saying too much. And so then
Hey, mind getting a sample before they flatline? Just saying.
there we go.
Tissue acquisition complete. Nice go.
All right, which way are we going? But yeah, he was kind of saying too much though. Like like I think because like that, yeah, because then dude was just immediately like, well, who said anything about her being dead? You know, so then that was like kind of that was gonna kind of have the investigator like searching like a little bit harder in their direction for Helen. So like, yeah, sometimes the best thing to say is nothing, because anything that you say is gonna be used against you in some kind of way. Oh man.
We're done here. Calling the helo when ready.
Alright, I'm outie. So yeah, Jonah might have been saying a little bit too much, but after that, then he ends up catching the attitude with Marty and Wendy and leaving and going over to Ruth's, you know, because she offered to let him go over there and hang out or anything like that, like whenever he wanted to. So then that was pretty much what he went. So that's pretty much where he went once he ended up getting into it with Marty and Wendy. So then he goes and does that. And then, let me see what happens after that. What happens after that is, Ruth, he goes and tells Ruth like, hey, I have my own program to launder money with, and she asks him like, have you got any red flags or anything like that you use? And then he's like, no, I haven't, you know. And then she's like, well, do you want to run the program? You know. And then so he kind of gave her like he kind of didn't answer her and like gave her like the look as if like, hey, that's something that I have to like think about or whatever. So then that's kind of like how he went, or that's kind of just how she took it. But she was just like, all right, you know. But he was offering to let her use his program, and she knows how to run the program. So then. Already, so she was just offering to let him do it because then, you know, he might be able to run it a little bit better. But I guess she was gonna run it since he kind of didn't want to or wasn't answering her. And so then after that, Navarro's Marty's walking through the casino, and who's sitting right there? None other than Javi, Omar Navarro's nephew. And he's sitting there, and then Marty goes and walks up to him, and he tells him, hey, this place is hot over here. You might not want to be seen here. And he's like, you're right, let's go to your spot. So then they end up hopping a boat and going over to Marty's, which I think is really, that shit is swag right there. Take a boat to work, that shit is swag. But like I was just like, damn, that I just the thought of that like is cool though, you know, unless it's raining out or something like that, you might want to drive. But I mean, other than that though, like just to take a boat across the lake to go to work though, that shit is dope. But anyways, they end up going back to the house. They go get some pastries first. They end up going back to the house, and he ends up talking to Wendy and Marty, and he ends up telling them like, over there in Chicago for a little bit, but I decided to come out here and relax. But he's really just going over there to go oversee things from the looks of it, you know. And he's just damn near the new Helen, you know. He even goes and stays at her house, so he's damn near the new Helen. And so it's a little bit like it's looking a little bit like they got another problem on their hands with Javi. And so then it goes to a scene where, then it ends up going to a scene where where Jonah and Charlotte end up getting into it. Jonah and Charlotte end up getting into it, and then from there, that leads to Jonah going back to Ruth, being like, hey, I'll do the money laundering for you. You know, Ruth is at the pool at the hotel with Wyatt and I forget the other kid's name, but she's over there with Wyatt, and so she's at the pool with Wyatt and they're swimming, and then she invites him to come over and have a beer and hang out because like they're about to get to, I guess because they're about to get to the money together. So then after that it goes to this scene where Javi's chilling in Helen's house. The sheriff goes up to the door. He comes knocking on the door, and he goes and asks Javi like, hey, where's Helen at? And then Javi's kind of like, oh, you're the sheriff. You're the sheriff. And then he ends up coming inside, and then he ends up letting them come inside because he's like, let me turn the music down. And then he ends up coming inside, and then he ends up turning the music up and shooting the sheriff. and just like ends up shooting him point blank, and then in the next scene he's going over to Marty and Wendy's house, and he's like he ends up going to Marty and Wendy's house, and he's telling them like, yeah, I solved your problem for you. What problem? You know, problem, what problem? And so from the looks of it, from the looks of it, he ends up shooting the sheriff, because I guess that was pretty much the muscle for Darlene. So I guess in him doing that, he kind of took out the muscle for Darlene. I think the sheriff's and stuff was her muscle. And so I guess that was the problem he was talking about. But he ends up having he drives up in the police car and everything, like with dude in the trunk. You know, like, and so like as they're moving dude out of the trunk into a van or something to a crematory that they own,
The latest data on the parasite's ecosystem.
or a cremation station or whatever it is that they got. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So then they end up taking them over there, and they end up taking him over there. So as they're putting him in the trunk, here comes Jonah riding up on it. Oh.
Don't wipe out the net. Just plant auto trackers on them.
Reload.
Oh, my fault. I meant to be doing something else. See, that's what I was saying about my attention might be like, I don't know. I have to like pay attention to this and do that at the same time. But yeah, and kind of do the breakdown at the same time. I'm sorry. But yeah, so then Jonah ends up seeing that, and it's just like, dang, you know, catch a break, man, because he's like in this moral dilemma within himself, and then he sees that, and then it's just like, dang, you know, like I feel like his worldview is just getting like rude right now, which I understand though. Like I kind of understand, because it's like, I mean, I get it. I don't agree with them, but I understand, like, cause imagine like your parents were like telling you something your entire life, and like have you like on this certain thing your entire life, and you find out it's like something they go against like all of those things that they was trying to show you, like growing up, you know. So then it's like you're in this like internal conflict with yourself on with right and wrong, you know. Charlotte's kind of just doing as her parents are telling her to do, and which is, I think I would be more along those lines too. But Jonah on the other hand is kind of like questioning everything and taking up issue. But I don't think he really was taking up issue like that, to that degree, until after Wendy did Ben like she did. Then he was just kind of like, oh, this is all bullshit, you know. That's when he started really just becoming insubordinate.
Looks like we got enough data to update current nest conditions in the area.
And then after that, that's pretty much the end of the episode, though. Hey, I'm about to extract. I just got whooped just now. I'm extracting. Look at my health at that 1%. Oh man, but yeah, I should have switched my other weapon, but I was trying to drop him with a hand pistol.
We'll try again.
But yeah, that was the end of the episode, and I mean, so far I'm really enjoying the episode. To see where it goes to, because we see from the first opening scene where it's kind of leading, where it's kind of headed, which I always like shows when it does that, like where it shows where it's at. So then you have to like you tune in to see like how is it getting to that point, you know, like, because like all of the stuff that they have to do, it seems like they just have this hell of a mountain to climb, and then it's like. But from the looks of it, they actually climbed that mountain. So now we get to see the climb. Now we get to see how they got to where they're where they're on this trip, like they're talking about calling movers and all of this stuff. So then we get to see like how it got to that point. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty, and it's gonna keep me intrigued. It's gonna keep me on the edge of my seat. I have to see what's gonna happen next. I really enjoy Ozark, and I actually really enjoyed doing this breakdown just now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, I hope you hit that like. I hope you hit that subscribe. All of that good stuff. I thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the vid, please let me know in the comments below if you like this style of show breakdown. Let me know. I again thank you so much for watching, and let me anything else that I wanted to add. I will probably do another episode 2 next week. So thank you again for watching. I keep saying that, but I can't stress it enough. I am truly grateful for anybody that watches my vids. So be safe out there, and until next time, peace.